again, and welcome to Crime and Music. I'm your host, Brian J. Kinsley, and with me, as always, my friend Ben Rubel.
You like opening that 7-Up right at that time, don't you?
I
You've
try.
done it now more than once.
I like to let people know that that's the start of a party.
I'm actually having something that's as close to 7-Up as I think it gets.
What do you got, Ben?
It's a Zima. I'm drinking a Zima.
Ben's drinking a Zima.
I found a Zima in Brian's fridge.
We got a bunch of them in the beer fridge down here, but I didn't have any Jolly Ranchers for him, so
I put a mint in it.
Just a straight Zima with a mint chaser.
Yeah.
Every other Wednesday, we bring you a true crime podcast about Zima and beers and crime and music. Musicians who've gone off the rails, committed crimes, and we like to talk about them and share their fun stories. If you like that sort of thing, share with a friend, for real. Take an episode and just send it to them, or send them to our Spotify or our Stitcher or something like that and go, these guys are kind of funny, check them out.
Yeah, spread the word. Make it big. That's what she said.
Are you ready for another amazing week? Another amazing story of crazy music stardom and fame gone wrong?
I am. I'm excited. I'm actually pretty excited because it only took Brian an hour and a half to get the computer going this morning.
Oh gosh, we almost switched back to the laptop.
It was a long ride on the struggle bus, but we got there. It's looking good. All the little bars are doing things on the computer screen, so hopefully we'll have low end technical issues today.
It's funny, but honestly, we'll get back to that because it kind of all ties into what we're talking about today.
You're saying the person that we're going to talk about today had an effect on the hard drive of your computer today?
It's completely possible, Ben.
The ghost in the machine?
It's completely possible.
Right.
Oh, we'll get there. You ready for another episode?
Well, you told me I think a couple weeks ago who you were thinking about doing. But
yes.
then you said you're going to scrap them.
I bailed on that. I have a whole new timeline for the
But I
summer
don't
and
remember
fall.
anything, so it's all new. It's all new to me. I don't know who this is today.
You seem like the type of guy who's got your phone with you all the time, like you're connected, you're plugged into what's going on and what's happening.
Yeah, I like to have my phone with me all the time.
Why does it take you 4 days to respond to my text?
I don't really like you that much.
Oh my God.
What are you talking about?
I will send you texts like, hey man, we got to reschedule this, that, the other, and then 2 days later I'll get a thing back from you. It's like, hey, yeah, that sounds good to me. I'm like, bro, I was filling out the calendar then.
You know I've told you, Brian, on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
If you call me or text me, you know I heard or saw that
Oh, I know.
immediately.
Instantly.
I'm not other people, Brian, I tell, I must have missed it. No, you know I've seen it.
You're just ignoring
I've
me.
seen it.
I know.
All right, whatever. Sometimes I'm busy.
Yeah. You should see the look, people.
Well, sometimes I don't have an answer for you.
That's fine. All right.
Let's get to it.
I need an answer from you because right now we're going to get into Guess the Guest. If you know this game, every week for the last couple of weeks now, I tell Ben a couple of clues and he tries to guess the guest because as involved as he is and his title is co-host, he does not know what's going to happen here when we sit down to record.
A raging clue.
A raging clue.
All right, guess the guest. Where am I at now? Where's our little sticky note?
Oh, it's Ben is somewhere here in the averages. Let's pull up the file.
8 and 8.
You are at 500 last clock. Woo.
All right.
That's a good swing, man. It's a good swing.
I have a feeling that there's going to be I got a loss coming up here. I've been on a roll, but let's see what we got, Brian.
I'm going to bet you lose right now.
All right. Let's start out with the first question.
As you
Brian,
like.
do I know who this is?
Hey, Ben, have you ever heard of Don Glenn Vliet?
No.
Don Vliet,
No.
a.k.a. Don Van Vliet.
Not like Greta Van Vliet.
No. I wonder if that's related. That did not occur to me.
No, I know Van Vliet Road.
All right.
We grew up down by that thing. Don Vliet.
One of Zappa's friends. One of Zappa's buddies.
Oh, I know who Frank Zappa is.
You do know Frank Zappa. Okay.
Vliet. No.
Don Vliet. He was never in the military, but he holds a military rank.
Captain Cody?
Well, you got the first part right.
Lost Langoliers?
Well, it's Captain. That's what you got right there.
Captain Kangaroo?
No, was he a musician? I guess he was. He did sing songs.
I don't know.
All right.
Captain...
You got 15 seconds. All right. It's the second part. We'll do like clue words and stuff. The second part is a type of meat they sell at the butcher, but it's kind of considered a poor cut, and a lot of people wouldn't eat it. Hard to make.
Captain Brisket?
Captain Beefheart.
Captain Beefheart.
You ever heard of Captain Beefheart?
Let's go with maybe on that.
Yep, it
yeah.
seems like it. Captain
Captain
Beefheart. Born January 15th, 1941, Don Glenn Vliet in Glendale, California. He's got parents Glenn Alonzo Vliet and Willie Sue Warfield.
I got so many questions. I'm going to wait, though. I hate it when I don't know something. I want to ask questions, and Brian's got a stack of cards, so I just let Brian do his thing. I'm going to sit back and enjoy and listen.
Sure you don't want to ask questions?
I know you're going to cover all this stuff.
All right.
I just want to know who he is now. And what songs he sung.
Yes, we'll get there.
I'm sure we'll get there. I'll sit here with my refreshing Zima and then let you do your thing.
Captain Beefheart Don Vliet was born in Glendale, California, as we said, and we don't usually do this to the end, but we have a quote from Don about his birth. Quote, "I was born with my eyes open. I didn't want to be born. I can remember deep down in my head that I fought against my mother bringing me into this world. I remember when that jerk slapped me on the fanny, and I saw the yellow tile, and I thought, what a hell of a way to wake somebody up." So Don remembers his own birth.
I'm sure he does.
I just figured that was a good way to start this. Like, oh, okay, the first thing you remember is your birth, so we'll start there.
I don't think they slap babies on their butts anymore.
It's probably assault. You need consent.
No,
Me too.
I don't think. I think they just shove a tube down their throat and suck out the fluid. They do that, slapping on the butt to get them to cry to, like.
Oh yeah, get the amniotic fluid out of your face and stuff.
Yeah, because you're. So now they just, they have a thing. They just suck it out like a big sucker outer dealio.
Well, Glenn Alonzo and Willie Sue did not have a sucker out dealio. They were back in the 40s, where Glenn was a service station owner from Kansas.
These are his parents?
Yep, that's his dad. And he had that Dutch ancestry again, the Vliets.
So they had a very nice yard.
Very well maintained, according to Ben.
Yes.
And then Willie Sue was from Arkansas.
It's Arkansas, Brian.
Arkansas, I apologize. It is claimed that they are related to Peter Van Vliet, Dutch painter, who knew Rembrandt.
Well, that's good.
I know him.
I know him. I know him, too.
Adventurer and author Richard Halliburton, not the weapons company.
Oh, I just started watching that Dick Cheney movie last night.
Well, I don't know if he's half as impressive as Richard, who swam the Panama Canal, and he's paid the lowest toll in history.
Who did that?
Richard Halliburton. Guess how much he paid in 1928 to swim the Panama Canal?
7 cents.
36 cents.
He got ripped off.
Which in today's money is about $5.23.
I've heard that story.
There you go.
Yeah, they do it by tonnage.
Right. Well, right. Richard died trying to sail the Chinese junk, like those boats.
Yeah,
the
the
Sea Dragon from Hong Kong to San Francisco.
That's how he died?
That's how he died.
And that was his dad?
That was his ancestor. That was Don's ancestor. So
All
Don's from kind of what's that word?
Eclectic group of
yeah,
Dutchmen.
Exactly.
Right.
Crazy Dutchmen. Finally, it's claimed that the Vliets are related to cowboy actor Slim Pickens.
Oh, Slim Pickens. All right.
A.K.A. Dr. Strangelove in Blazing Saddles.
Oh, really?
And before that, he was Major T.J. King Kong in Stanley Kubrick's movie Dr. Strangelove.
Okay.
He's the guy who rides the H-bomb. Yee-hoo! You
Oh,
ever seen that old black and white footage of a guy riding a bomb with a cowboy hat?
Yeah, getting the Angola out of the Angola May.
You got it.
Something.
Yep. Good job. Ben knows his old movies.
His
bombs.
I don't think that was even right, but let's just pretend it was.
So basically, Don's claiming he's got an eclectic family. That's that, like you said, that's the word there.
Bunch of fucking weirdos.
Bunch of goddamn Dutch weirdos. Go home, Dutchie. Don begins painting and sculpting at the age of 3. And he's obsessed with animals and dinosaurs and fish, and he's 3. He likes things 3-year-olds
Every 3-year-old is got Play-Doh and some finger paints.
Right. At the age of 9, Don won a children's sculpting competition held by the LA Zoo.
He won a competition. I won a competition when I was like 9 for coloring a bunny rabbit.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, I mean, we could cite that if I ever went on to do anything bigger.
I think you picked up on Don's life pretty quick here, Ben.
He's just an average kid.
He's just a dude who gets a funny name assigned to him by Frank Zappa. We'll get there. During the 1950s, Don was an apprentice to Agostino Rodriguez.
Was that the guy that mowed the lawns?
He's a local art tutor.
Oh,
yeah.
tutor.
Age 11, Don allegedly gives a lecture at Barndale Art Institute in L.A.
Barndale?
Yeah, that's what it's called. Barndall.
What? He gave a lecture?
Yes.
Why? He's not a person of note.
He's been sculpting since he was 3.
Well,
like, and he won an award.
It's a very major award, I'm sure.
Now, Don also he was sculpting weekly at this age on a local television show. So he'd have a little art show, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Don, and today we're going to make a brontosaurus."
So like Bob Ross, but a kid?
Yup.
All right.
Don said his parents discouraged his interest in art because they thought artists were queer.
Yeah, and poor. I mean, they are.
That's true, but
until they die, and then they become popular, and then the stuff gets worth something, but...
we'll get there.
Yeah.
They turned down several scholarship offers for him. He had like this one scholarship offer where they were going to give him 6 years paid to travel around Europe and study marble sculpting. And his dad was like, "That's gay. You can't do that."
Hey, there's some company right now that has, these little goofy publicity stunts companies will do.
Right.
They're paying you to travel the United States or maybe the world for an entire year, all expenses paid, to eat barbecue.
Really?
Yeah, and you got to go eat barbecue, get your Twitter picture taken and stuff at all these barbecue places, and you just get to go around and eat. I think maybe it's just ribs even.
Just a rib tour.
I do like barbecue, but every day.
Every day. The same thing every day.
No, I don't think it would be that much. That'd be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 years of traveling around Europe just chipping away at rock. Tink, 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 tink. Okay, another slab of marble. Thanks, guys. Bring it in. Yeah, no, take the other one out.
All right, so Captain Beefheart.
Age 13, 1954, the family moves from L.A. to the remote farming town of Lancaster, near the Mojave Desert.
Okay.
There's a big aerospace thing going on out there, and there's test facilities and Edwards Air Force Base.
The White Sands Missile Proving Grounds?
Something like that.
Yeah.
They're big business, some people are out
UFOs.
there. Don attended Antelope Valley High School, and he started really getting into music, like old blues stuff like Son House and Robert Johnson and John Coltrane, Muddy Waters.
Everybody was into blues back then.
Well, and here's the kicker. He really identified with Howlin' Wolf. Hey, Howlin' Wolf Man, that's there, like Wolfman Jack type of thing. Howlin' Wolf was like, Wolfman Jack was the DJ.
Yeah.
Howlin' Wolf was the guy who stole that voice for songs,
Okay. Wait, what was that one voodoo guy? You put a spell on. We put a spell on you.
Put a spell on me.
Who was that guy? That guy's name. Remember his name?
No, I don't, but I see it in my head.
Wasn't he
it's not
on
these
an
guys.
earlier podcast with...
He was with
David Allan Coe.
David Allan Coe, yeah, the voodoo guy.
He was
different.
scary.
He was very scary.
Yeah.
Check out the David Allan Coe podcast. It's apparently our most popular episode.
I like that one.
I think it's just because it has the word racist in the title, but
what
do I know about?
That's what gets the clicks.
What do I know about the algorithm?
Clickbait, baby.
All right, so when he's there at this Antelope High School, he starts hanging out with the local bands, the Omens and the Blackouts.
All right, so he grew up in Brian's telling me to stop hitting things. He didn't like
Stop fiddling with the odd noises in the background, Ben.
Ting, ting, ting. No, so he started out in Southern California. Is that right?
SoCal, yeah.
Okay. And then they moved out to the desert.
Well, no, they were in L.A. I'm sorry, I started wrong. They were in L.A. and then they moved out to the desert.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Southern California.
Is it?
Sure.
L.A.?
Yeah.
All right, I'll believe you.
Northern California is like where they do not dumb stuff. Then they went out to the desert for his adolescent years. Okay.
Right.
I just getting it straight. I like the background.
I got you. Don befriends Blackout's drummer, Frank Zappa.
Frank Zappa is
there
a cool dude.
Basically,
he was an interesting dude.
Don and Frank go to high school together, and that's how they met, basically. Hanging out in the classrooms and in the back rooms and stuff like that.
I was at, where was it? Was it at a Hard Rock Cafe? Or, I don't think it was at the thing in Cleveland, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay.
It was I think it was a Hard Rock Cafe somewhere. And they had this beautiful quilt that Frank Zappa had commissioned to be made, and it was nice. It's like something that your grandmother would make for you with all these nice quilted pieces all sort of collaged and
what were the
sewn
pieces?
Together. The panties.
Oh God!
They were underwear from women that threw their stuff up on stage during Frank Zappa concerts.
Genius.
This was awesome. Frank Zappa was kind of a musical. Just a guru. I mean, he knew stuff.
I was going to ask you, who is Frank Zappa for people who might not know, Ben? Just because I realized we didn't cover that. I said Frank Zappa, like, everybody knows who that is.
He was a very
eccentric,
very eccentric musician who would he made like operas and stuff. He did some really hard, musical genius shit.
Yes.
But then would sing about titties and vaginas and nasty stuff and dumb things. And,
don't eat the yellow snow.
Oh my gosh, just some of the dumbest, like.
Watch out where the huskies go, don't you eat that yellow snow.
And he loved it. And he felt like anything to entertain. I don't know. I'd like to do more about Frank Zappa, but he probably didn't do anything wrong.
He's pretty straight-laced. I got into that sort of.
But now he's got some, he's dead.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And he's got a couple kid, Dweezil and.
Moon Unit 1, his daughter.
Okay. And they did some stuff.
And
but
Ahmed Zappa. So the boys go around doing Zappa.
It wasn't there
something
one Dweezil?
Yeah, Dweezil.
Okay.
We'll get there.
All right. Go ahead. Continue.
All right. So Don's hanging out with Frank Zappa in high school. So they both loved the Chicago blues and that R&B sound. So they start, kicking around. And Frank, hey, I have a card on Frank, so you didn't have to tell people.
No.
Frank's an American musician, composer, and band leader. He made 60-plus albums. He's inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1995. He got a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 1997, and number 71 of the 100 greatest artists of all time, according to Rolling Stone.
He doesn't have a lot of like really popular stuff that you'll still hear today on the radio.
It's out there, man.
But you can go find it. Some weird stuff.
You'll like it. It is neat if you really like music, and you're not just like, I like whatever's on the radio music. If you like music, this stuff's interesting to listen to because it's so different.
You gotta find a horny little Jewish princess. You gotta do something 9 or in 69 or in wine or die. It's just the goofiest songs. Just the goofiest, weirdest songs.
But see, conceptually, that's clever. That's very clever.
Yeah.
Senior year of high school, Don drops out to help his family. His dad had a heart attack, so Don drops out and he takes over his dad's bread truck route because at that time his dad was driving a bread truck.
All right.
So
the truck made of bread, or it had bread in it?
I don't think. Well, we're not there yet. He's not quite spaced out to that degree, so he's just delivering bread to people.
Okay.
Now, even though his graduation picture appears in the yearbook, Dom claims he never attended public school. He says he went to a half day of kindergarten, and that's all. Quote from Don, quote, "If you want to be different fish, you got to jump out of the school."
I think he's now trying to invent himself as he goes.
Trying?
Yeah, he's trying to let me go to school. Whatever, back.
All right, we got a Frank Zappa quote about that time also, because this, Don says a lot of shit, and his friends are like, wait, I had class with you. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I went to a half day at kindergarten. So anyway, Frank says, quote, he had dropped out of school by that time and spent most of his time staying at home. His girlfriend lived in the house, and his grandmother lived in the house, and his aunt and his uncle lived across the street, and his father had that heart attack, and his father drove a bread truck, and so part-time Don was helping out by taking over the bread truck route and driving up to the Mojave. The rest of the time, he'd just sit at home and listen to rhythm and blues records and scream at his mom to get him a Pepsi.
Meatloaf!
Give me a Pepsi!
Mom, Meatloaf!
Mom, Frank's here. Give me a Pepsi! Frank Zappa's first recorded Don in his college classroom. Like, Frank goes on to college, and Don's like, all right, let's check it out. It's called Don Vliet is Lost in a Whirlpool, and you can hear it on Zappa's Lost episodes.
Oh, so he sang a song about him? Or with
No,
him?
Don actually, that's the first time Don's ever been recorded, was doing like Frank's school project or something.
Oh, okay,
So,
gotcha.
yeah. And then Frank gets a job at this PAL Studios in Cucamonga, California.
Cool.
And so,
Cucamonga.
so Don and Frank start collaborating on some songs. They call themselves the Suits, the Soots. Suits.
The suit.
We're the Suits.
Like icky, sooty material.
It doesn't sound pleasant. They had songs like Cheryl's Cannon, Metal Man Has Won His Wings, and I Was a Teenage Malt Shop.
That's better than a gay ice cream truck.
That's true. And of course, the classic, The Birth of Captain Beefheart.
So, any background on why they got the name Beefheart?
Beefheart was a song, The Birth of Captain Beefheart was a song about a movie Frank wrote called Captain Beefheart vs. the Grunt People.
Is that on Netflix?
I think you can actually find it, yes. Captain Beefheart vs. the Grunt People. It might not be on Netflix, it might be Vimeo or something like that, deeper in.
Have you ever eaten a beef heart or any heart whatsoever? How many different hearts have you eaten?
Wow. I don't know. I mean, I've had a lot of hot dogs.
When you were a kid? I don't know. Not good. Well,
wait, lips and assholes.
You'd be lucky to get a beef heart and a hot dog these days.
Lips and assholes.
But So here's our okay. So I've eaten a chicken heart for sure.
Nuggets. All right.
No,
Pink
like
slime.
it was a heart. It came with the chicken back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Like
No,
you
you're
get
right.
your mom would buy a
Right.
chicken at the store, and then you'd open it up, and there's like the gizzard and the liver and the heart and
Right.
the whatever. You'd eat it. It was a piece of meat, whatever. So I've eaten that.
All right.
But up in the Flint area, they have there's a thing called a Coney dog. All right, number one, Coney Island is in New York. I don't get this. I don't know how it got this way.
Are you gonna go into Detroit Conies versus Flint Conies also?
Getting
Because there's
there.
a whole
We'll get
substrata.
there.
All right.
So the whole entire idea of eating a hot dog out on Coney Island is nothing new. Nathan's hot dogs are out there. They still do it today.
Nathan's hot dogs are good. I will say that. I am
Yeah, they're
super biased because I prefer only a Kogel Vienna,
Mhm.
but a Nathan's hot dog is a good second. I mean, that's not bad.
So they would take the hot dogs over to Michigan, I guess, and bam, now we made them into what were called Coney dogs, which then you'd put like a topping on it that was either like a bean, like a refried bean and chili mix.
Yeah, chili.
But Flint has theirs where it's a meat.
Loose meat.
It's not. It's Beefheart.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
a loose meat, sort of in a not a sauce, but it's got a little bit of
It's chili.
saucy,
Just
but
like
it's not chili though.
Chili powder, yeah.
Doesn't have beans in it. Doesn't have like tomatoes or
No, I'm
onions in
saying
it.
chili powder, like chili powder you
Yeah,
buy.
yeah.
Yeah, and then they add garlic and stuff. But it's a really fine. It's made out of Beefheart. That's the Flint
interesting.
Coney sauce. Yeah, it's
Wow.
good stuff. And by the way, Kogel's has a very high standard for the hot dogs, Brian.
No, I know. I
The
actually know
meat-
the meat buyer. He's one of my hunting partners.
The meat has to be
What up?
attached to the bone.
Your heart's not attached to a bone.
No,
though.
so they can't use that, and they can't use the liver.
I see.
But lips and assholes, yeah, he can use that. That's attached to the bone. There's a term they use for it, in the meat industry.
A lot of your asshole attached to a bone, is it? Or is that your lips?
No, your lips are attached to stuff.
I can see your lips being attached to a bone, Ben.
I get that. It's a penis joke.
Oh,
All right,
God.
we got 22 minutes into the episode. And that's our first penis
penis
joke.
joke.
Good job.
All right.
Yay.
Okay, so right there, we've got Captain Beefheart versus the Grunt People. That's the first time we see the appearance of Captain Beefheart.
Now I want a Coney dog.
It is rumored Don's Uncle Alan had a habit of exposing himself to Don's girlfriend, Lori Stone.
That's so terrible.
So, Uncle Alan would be taking a piss and the bathroom door open, right? And if Lori would walk by the bathroom, he'd mumble about his penis. He'd be like, "Ah, what a beauty. Looks like a big, fine beef heart."
Oh, so is that where they got this from?
Yeah, Uncle Alan and his beef heart penis is where they got it from.
Okay, so where did he get it from?
Well, let's do a follow-up. Johnny Carson asked Don a question about the name. He's like, "So, Don, Captain Beefheart." And Don said, one day, he was standing on the pier, and he saw fishermen cutting the bills off of pelicans, and he said it made him sad. It put a beef in his heart. And Johnny Carson goes to break, and when they come back to the show, Don is gone.
What?
They kicked him off.
Oh,
You're weird.
he was
Cutting the
weird.
bills off of pelicans? The hell are you talking about?
So Johnny did not like that.
No.
Johnny Carson ran that show.
Yeah, from the desk, baby.
He ran that show, dude.
Okay, next.
And he
Who's
never
coming out next?
and he never got political either.
No,
Nope.
he walked a fine line.
He would bring things up, and he wasn't real social minded. He did his job, and he made sure everybody around him did their fucking job. I like Johnny.
Oddly enough, we'll get there.
All right.
Don's very much the same way. He's very controlling, authoritative. I don't know what you want to call him, but well, anyway, Don enrolls at Antelope Valley College as an art major because the sculpting and the art stuff. He only stays for a week, so the Ben time frame.
You got
And,
that Pell Grant check.
Leaves before anything else happens. So Don gets a job selling vacuum cleaners door to door. He sells vacuums to a writer, Aldus Huxley.
Do you remember when the vacuum cleaner people came to our house, Brian, back in the day?
I don't. I really don't.
They were okay. It was the
Is it
vacuum cleaner company was. It's one of the big names that
Kirby?
Kirby, yeah, Kirby.
I'm having flashbacks.
So they come to the door.
This is
you're
that
not
young,
home.
that
You're not home.
young fellow who cleaned the whole house while I was
It's-
at school.
It's me. I think was home in the kitchen, and I was working on that deck in the back of the house. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, dog starts barking. I go, "Hey, I want to give you a vacuum." I said, "Hey, and the kid talked me into letting him do it because he's like, if I just give out, 3 demos a day, and if I do that for a week, I get a free trip. There's some incentive. I don't even need to sell anything. I'm like, well, look around, dude. I don't have carpet in my house. Pretty much
That whole up. No, it
hardwood
wasn't.
floors.
Yeah, it was.
That one bed, the one room had carpet in it. That was it, and we didn't go in there.
I never went in that room.
And so, anyways, the kid comes in, starts doing his thing, and I'm like, I can give you a few minutes, but you're just gonna have to hang out here for a while, and do your. And next thing you know, my house has 3 salesmen in it and a manager.
Oh wow!
They're in the house with a van. You and got back to the house by this time, and we're just drinking on the deck or drinking in the house somewhere.
Right.
Pissed because she's trying to make dinner and these people are trying to clean curtains around her, and I'm like, you guys gotta get the fuck out of here. I ended up just kicking them out. I'm like, you gotta leave. I'm done with you. This is 2.5 hours of bullshit. Go away.
So did you buy a vacuum?
I got 3 of them. No, I did not buy a vacuum.
That's awesome. Well, Don, he didn't sell a vacuum either, but this Aldus Huxley, you don't know who that is?
No.
You ever heard of the book A Brave New World?
No, I don't read books.
Well, this is not going to be entertaining for you.
Hasn't been so far.
Nice.
Bum. There it is.
Yeah, I need the da-doonch instead of the gong. Don finishes his sale pitch by pointing at the vacuum and declaring, well, I assure you, this thing sucks.
Now you got to have the rim job there too. Rim shop.
Freudian slip. All right. Lips and assholes, eh, Ben?
All right.
It's all circular. It comes around. All right. So, after that, Don gets a job managing a Kenny's shoe store.
Oh, you remember those?
I do. That's why I put it in there. I was like, I remember Kenny's.
And they had those benches, and they had that mirror that was like on an angle on the bench.
The skirt mirror, yeah.
Yeah.
You could see up girls' skirts at Kenny's. Thanks, Kenny's.
I always think of Al Bundy. Wasn't that was kind of the shoe store that he worked at?
Oh, God, yes. That was, yep, Married with Children. Everybody look it up for classic shoe store jokes.
Oh, they got some good, yeah, that's funny.
Don relocates to Rancho Cucamonga, California, and reconnects with Frank.
Okay.
And so Frank gets Don into musical performance stuff. Like, Don's a shy sculptor, right? Like, he's used to sitting by himself and taking away at marble.
Shoe salesman.
Dealing with women's shoes. But eventually, he gets to imitating that howlin' wolf voice, like that. Yeah, everybody. I can't do it without killing my throat, right? That's good though, right? No, you gotta, baby in the blues, yeah, we're gonna sing it.
That's what he did.
Well, that's kind of the voice he started getting into. He's like, I sound good like that gnarly, growly voice. And so he starts playing the harmonica too, and begins playing local dances and small clubs all around Southern California.
How old is he at this point?
Oh, geez, he's got to be in his teens, 20s.
I was gonna say at least 20s. He's been around the block a little bit.
Well, 1965. So he was born in 41. So puts him at like 24.
Yeah,
23.
Okay.
So yeah, he's right in it. It's about the time I was gigging the most with stuff and jamming out and playing.
Well,
shows
I mean, he's still not really doing anything for real yet.
Don's invited to sing with the Magic Band. That's a 60s group with elements of psychedelia and contemporary sort of hippie counterculture stuff, weird people.
Yeah, I think acid's coming back into play.
I think we're getting there.
No. Now people are like, hey, just microdoses.
Nowadays you're saying.
Nowadays,
I thought you meant in our story.
Yeah. That's how people deal with children.
Microdosing acid?
Yes.
I see. And then macrodosing alcohol?
That's later. No, that's how you deal with your spouse.
Macro doses of alcohol and separation.
No.
Oh, I just
that's the cure for the alcohol.
Have you heard this trend that they have? Separate honeymoons. People get married and then go on separate honeymoons. The husband and the wife. True story. You read about it.
That sounds.
I don't want to go to Jamaica. You go there. I'm going to Peru.
Fine. I'm going fishing in Colorado.
I'll see you in 3 weeks. So right there, 1965, Don's in with this magic band, right? And he quickly changes the name to Captain Beefheart and his magic band.
Oh, wow, he took right over.
Just took it over.
We're going to name this something stupid, guys. I don't think we should. I already did it. It's done.
See, the gig is, Don is like, I got a thing here, guys. What we'll do is we'll go on stage, and upon drinking a Pepsi, Captain Beefheart could summon up his magic band.
So, did Pepsi pay him to do this?
No, they are not a sponsor.
Why did he pick Pepsi?
At least
the Juggalos get a little something out of like Fago shit up, but
Their dads are like VPs of those
Yeah.
companies, dude. That's why I don't think Don knew anybody at Pepsi.
can we do the Juggalos one day?
If they break the law.
I think they're
You
they're-
just mean juggalos in general?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
yes.
Yeah.
All right, we're
sure.
gonna do, you. All right,
Sure,
everybody.
Sure.
Everybody, please write Brian to get him to do the jug. I want to learn more about juggaloing.
Doing juggalos.
Yeah.
Something. I don't even know their names. I can't even think of what it is.
Tell you what we should do. If you ever want to do a live podcast with your little camera dealios, we'll paint our faces like juggalos.
Juggalo podcast.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
All right.
All right. That's.
I gotta get some more Zimas in me,
We'll
but
get there. It will be our first night podcast live. All right, so basically, Captain Beefheart and his magic band, they play a bunch of car club dances and like juke joints and stuff. They won the Teenage Fair Battle of the Bands. and-
ooh, the teenage fair?
Yeah.
There's a separate fair for just teens?
Well, at whatever academy or the what is that, Antelope Valley College or something? Yeah, there's a.
right.
and- So but the thing though is that led to 2 single contracts, like singles, like single songs, one song, not a whole album.
Oh,
But-
from a record company?
Yeah, from A&M Records.
Oh, from a real record company.
So right, that's a real record company. And the 2 singles were Diddy Wah Diddy, a Willie Dixon cover, and Moonchild. It was not well received.
No?
Moonchild.
Was that did they write that on their own song there?
Yeah, that was their own.
Well, Diddy, what you said was somebody
Diddy
else.
Wah Diddy is a Willie Dixon cover. That
Okay.
people like that. Willie Dixon is good and popular. 1966, after the 2-song deal was up, Don and the Magic Band presented A&M with more songs.
Yeah.
They were told the songs were, quote, too negative, and then they got dropped from the label.
Ooh.
Like
too
this
negative.
is your effort. Next.
Too negative.
Too negative.
The grunge music was not popular yet.
No. But luckily, at the end of 1966, Don and the Magic Band signed to Buddha Records out of L.A.
Buddha?
Buddha.
Never heard of that.
I have not either, but it's a record company, and
Okay.
they signed.
I'm sure there were a lot of record
I'm signed
companies.
I'm signed to a record label, bro.
They all got hoovered up by the big guys.
Signed to
at
a record
the end,
label.
Yeah.
I haven't signed, but I got a SoundCloud. So if you go to my SoundCloud,
What's that? Takeshi?
no, that's well, basically, right? Rappers nowadays. I'm waiting because I just produce it myself. 1967, they start work on a new album, Safe as Milk. It was a chaotic time in the recording of that album. It was all freaky and weird. Guitarist Doug Moon. Well, wait, let's start with the drummer, John French. John French quit because Don would teach his drums by whistling and banging the parts out on the side of the piano. So he'd be like, all right, what I need from the drums is I need like a...
The drummer didn't like that.
Can you get more of the... I need more bang in there, but but it's no... Like a knock, not a, like bang, not bang, bang. And so he's like, what the fuck are you talking about, Don?
69. A lot of drugs going on at
Like-
this time of the year.
Can you play that on the drums? And you... On the drum, I can't whistle because the pop filter's in here, but
I don't have a whistle. I'm a drum dude.
I don't... Is it...
Is
I
it a
don't-
cowbell?
like, what
Are
do
you looking for more?
what are you gonna
I
do?
got a cowbell.
So that, and then guitarist Doug Moon, he was replaced by 20-year-old sensation Ry Gooder. This guy's like a big thing, but Doug left the band because he couldn't stand Don's criticism. So basically, one time, Doug was so angry, he walked in the studio and pointed a loaded crossbow at Don. To which Don said, "Get that fucking thing out of here. Get out of here and get back in your room." Which exactly is what Doug did. He said, "I'm sorry."
This is a precursor to the idiot guy, the sound of wall sound guy.
Phil Spector?
Phil Spector.
Yeah.
Just play, but he had a crossbow.
Right. Well,
That's
no,
classy.
it's the reverse situation. Is the guitar player had the crossbow pointed at Don. He's like, "I'm sick of you telling me how to do this shit." And Don's like, "Just take your goddamn crossbow out of my face. Go back in your room and practice. All right? I don't have time for this shit."
Who's packing a crossbow?
Doug, get the hell out of here. Doug.
All right, Doug's got a crossbow.
All right. At this point, I said crossbow, so we're gonna take a small break, and
Go find more Zimas.
we're gonna come back and see if we can't see what happens here with Don.
He hasn't done anything illegal yet.
No, we're right on the tip of it though. I wanted to introduce weaponry, and then we'll go off.
All right, I'm glad you got your weaponry introduced.
Hey, I'm Stan.
And I'm Drew, and we are your hosts of Bad in the Boondocks.
Bad in the Boondocks is a fresh take on true crime podcast.
We are a father and son team from way back in the sticks of South Carolina.
Yeah, in a town of less than 500, and we have a shared passion for all things true crime. So, every Saturday we get together and swap stories about a true crime event.
We try and find the most twisted and vile losers of our human race. Now, you won't hear a lot of endless banter on Bad in the Boondocks.
But what you will hear is all the unedited facts on the cases we choose, no matter how gory or troublesome they are. And you'll hear it all with a unique southern flair.
And along the way, you'll hear just the right amount of discussion and jokes to keep you and us from completely losing your mind. You can find us on all the major podcast platforms like iTunes, Google, Stitcher, Himalaya, and CastBox, or just go to badintheboondocks.com and download all of our episodes there.
So, come on down to the Boondocks and get your redneck on with us. We promise, you'll have a good time.
I'm excited about this though.
You
I
like that?
This,
You
yeah.
like that, Drew?
I think I'm gonna get. How many episodes do they have?
They've got about the same as us, about just under 30, I think.
Oh, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna give them a try.
Yeah, Drew with the Jeru. Drew sent me, that's the son. He sent me a couple promo things. We're doing a little promo swap with those guys.
Yeah, that'd be
So
cool.
you'll
That's
hear
very cool.
our promo on their show once I finish it.
Yeah, once we get it to them.
Theirs is nicer than ours, so I now have
Well-
to up what we were doing before. So what can I do?
It's a lot of work.
And then, you know what? I've been kicking it around, guys. If you're a podcaster and you're in the true crime genre, we're thinking about Swapcast. We will do your podcast and you can do our podcast and we'll all do it together. That sounded way worse than I wanted it to.
So I think if you're a fan of our show and you've listened to a lot of our earlier episodes, I hope everyone understands. I'm new to this podcast thing.
Ben's from the 1930s.
Whatever this podcast dealio is. So
He thinks we're on the radio right now.
no, there's not a million people. No, so
This AM? Where do I tune?
I try to listen to myself on the way back home.
I need an amplifier.
So but I have been getting to a few extra podcasts. So we've done a little bit of podcast swap with a few other of our true
Booze and Brews girls.
Yeah, the Booze and Brews. Hey,
ladies.
they have a lot of energy.
Out in
A
California.
lot of energy.
Very much so.
Yeah, and these guys, I appreciate. There's a certain flair they got.
Drew and
I'm gonna start
Stanley.
listening to them.
Drew and Stanley are great.
But I did start listening to a history podcast on the Civil War.
Oh, whose? Do you know? Look it up. You're gonna look at your phone.
No, I don't want to because
Okay.
I don't want to use any names because it's a husband and wife. They've been doing it for years and they're still not done. They make like 20, 30-minute minute-long episodes.
So they haven't finished covering all of history yet?
They haven't finished covering even
What you're
the
saying?
history of the Civil War.
Oh, it's just strictly the Civil
I'm sorry.
War.
I may have should have said that. So I'm listening.
They
to
haven't
this thing.
finished covering history yet,
I'm
Ben.
like-
You say?
I'm like 20 minutes in or 20 episodes into this.
Day one.
Oh, they make us sound. They're very factual. They have very well. Everything must be written for these people. Everything. We don't write a lot. We got some note cards. We say some words.
What are you talking about?
These people write their own like jokes, and they read them like they're. It's so dry. It's almost like a Saturday Night Live skit.
That's awesome. That
But
sounds
they're-
awesome.
They're very factual. If you want to learn about the Civil War, this would be a good one to go to.
A lot of people died in the Civil War.
Oh yeah, and it has very. I don't think we knew about the Civil War growing up a whole lot.
Yeah, it happened.
It did happen.
It was the North against the South, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure the North won.
Yeah, well, yeah, but there was a lot of little things. And Mexican American. Okay, we should probably talk about our podcast.
I feel like your family fought for the West.
Yeah, they fought for the West.
Out west is Don and the boys. They land a gig playing the Monterey Pop Festival in 1967.
Hey, I'd just like to let everybody know we've turned the Zimas off. I didn't want to drink their. I don't know whose they are.
You didn't want to drink all my Zimas, Ben?
Somebody's gonna miss that Zima. And we're like,
No.
I had 3 Zimas in there. What happened?
It actually was in the fridge when we bought the house, so it's probably an original from the 90s.
It ages just like KBS real well.
So 1967, probably Don's been having sort of like these weird Probably, because we don't know, because it's 1967. But he thinks that he's having panic attacks when people look back on what was described.
Mhm.
And so, which convinces him he's having a heart attack, right? Because his dad had a heart attack. So it's that, or possibly all of Don's heavy LSD usage. So,
It's a flip of the coin.
but right, so he starts sort of freaking out, man, sometimes before he goes on stage. And like before this big Monterey show, Monterey Pop Festival, you heard about
Yeah,
that?
we've covered that a little bit.
Covered a little bit, right? All right.
Oh, he was in it?
Yeah, they were playing like for Zappa and like warming
Okay.
up and stuff, and they wanted to play a warm up, right?
So is there a difference between a panic attack and an anxiety?
No, I think it's pretty much the
It's
same.
all, I don't know.
Yeah, your senses are all heightened and like loss of control.
No,
sort
I
of,
think
or-
you get that anxiety where you get like a sick feeling in your stomach really bad and there's no reason for it.
right.
That could have been it.
So, all right, before they play this big Monterey show, they wanted to do a warm up gig, and they play this Mount Tamalpais Festival, Mount Tamalpais Festival.
All right.
They play that, right?
Sounds legit.
They start playing the song Electricity. Electricity. That's not really the song, but it is. The song's called Electricity. Don freezes on stage, just,
Just locks right up.
straightens his tie, walks right off the front of the stage, falls 10 feet, 3 meters for overseas, and lands on his manager, Bob Crenshaw.
He walked off the stage and landed.
Just walking off the plank, baby. Don claimed that he'd seen a girl in the audience turn into a fish with bubbles coming from her mouth.
This guy's high in acid.
You think?
You think?
You think?
Because if he really saw that, that would be amazing.
Right.
All right.
All right.
Bubbles, acid. Was she hot? The fish
hot
girl?
fish girl. I got like a mermaid, but
Yeah.
it sounds like her head is like the head was the fish and the body was a girl. So that's not what.
That's a tough call, Brian.
Yeah.
If you had to choose, do you
You
want
know?
the top part to be the girl and the bottom part to be the fish, or the top part to be the fish and the bottom part to be the girl?
There is a wonderful, wonderful song out there, and I can't remember the name of the band, but that's what it's all about. It's like this guy has a mermaid for a girlfriend, but man, the top part's fish, or the top part's girl, and the bottom part's fish. I wish your sister would come by, because the bottom part's girl, the top part's fish.
Right.
So, anyway, basically, after that, the guitar player quit. So he's like, I'm not doing this anymore, man. And so when the guitar part's way too complex to learn in a week, they canceled the Monterey Pop Festival show, and that wrecked their chances of breaking through to mainstream audiences and blowing them up.
You
So,
gotta walk that fine line of drugs as a musician back then, I think. You gotta do drugs,
Yeah,
but not too many drugs.
yeah, no, that Rye Cooter guy was like, dude, I'm out. Because, like, as soon as Don walks off stage, he walked backstage, grabbed his guitar case, kept walking. It's like,
Yeah,
I can't
screw
do this
this.
anymore. 1968, Captain Beefheart releases their second album, Strictly Personal.
Hmm.
Described as terrific and underrated.
Terrific and underrated.
Yeah, so apparently they've kind of got like a thing. They got a niche, basically. They've
Yeah.
got that Zappa niche, right? That weird-ass eccentric music, eclectic music stuff. So,
Terrific and underrated.
Yeah.
Sounds like what my first girlfriend used to write on my Facebook wall.
Oh.
My MySpace wall.
I was like, wow, Friendster.
Friendster. I found that out. I just found that the other day. Friendster.
You're on Friendster now?
Not Friendster.
Everybody look up Ben's Friendster and hit him up there.
I wonder if that's still available.
Did you ever make the MySpace page
I'm
knowing the
working on
answer?
it. You know I'm working on it.
All right. On a European trip, Don and the boys are denied entry to the UK. Their manager didn't get the proper work permits to play some UK gigs, so they just kick around Germany for a couple days, and then they try again, and it's good to go. And the UK gig is important because that's where they play John Peel's radio show. It's called Middle Earth.
Hmm.
After the show, they have a huge line of fans who want to meet him. Like,
So they had some fans.
this is a popular radio show. John Peel was a good DJ over in England, and he had, like Casey Kasem type of thing, like,
Mhm.
and here coming from the guys, it's like, here's Captain Beefheart. They go on to go play the Medium Mosaic Festival in Cannes, France. So basically, this is all setting up that they're getting bigger.
They're getting some
And
notoriety.
notoriety.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
When they return from Europe, they sign with MGM Records.
Okay.
Boom.
A&M didn't call him back then.
Well, no.
Okay.
They're like, you're too negative. 1969. Don starts the greatest work, his 28-track double album, Trout Mask Replica.
28 track.
28-track. Now,
Wow.
your dad knows all about this, I'm sure of. This is like the height of music creativity in 1969. the Trout Mask replica. Don wanted the band to live the album, right? Like, I want you guys to want to feel
like
it.
method acting,
Right.
but for the band.
For music.
Okay.
So he rents a house out in Woodland Hills in L.A., and he calls it the Magic Band House. Super creative name. They rehearsed for 8 months, living like communally, like a hippie commune, in a 2-bedroom house.
With piles of acid everywhere.
Yeah, well, right. And the band all slept in one bedroom, and then Don had the other room, and then the living room was the rehearsal area. So
the band got one room, Don got the other room?
Yup.
What a dick.
8 months, dude. 8 months.
I bet that house smelled good.
Don realized his vision by total domination of the bandmates. Like, he's like, again, like you said, like Phil Spector with like the guns pointed at your face. He was like right in your face at various times.
How many people are living in this house at this point? Like 5?
No, honestly, the Magic Band has a rotating cast of like 38 people or something. There's horns, harmonica players, sax, trumpets, guitars, bass, drum. I mean, so in the house, I think there's about a core of 6 people.
And then people coming and going all times.
Right.
Probably some partying going on.
Well, no.
No?
No, we'll get there.
Okay.
At various times, each bandmate was, quote, put in a barrel with Don, like screaming at them for days until the musician collapsed into tears. And then he's like, now you're ready. So
This sounds so horrible.
Guitarist Bill Harkleroad said his fingers were a bloody mess because Don insisted on using heavy strings. And you play guitar, you know about switching heavy strings.
Well, you can get used to it.
Drummer John French is back, and he described the house as cult-like and Manson-esque.
It sounds like it.
Like Charles Manson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Not mansion, but Manson.
Manson, right. They had no income but welfare, and any family donations that they would get snuck past Don. They each got a cup of beans a day for food, and visitors said they looked cadaverous and in poor health.
This sounds like hell.
Yeah, right? Well, what do you guys do? I'm a rock musician. Help me. These poor rock musicians survive on 1 cup of beans a day. Can you send donations to Woodland Hills?
I'll make my just Sarah McLachlan reference there.
Yeah, right? This is how you live the album.
Oh wait,
apparently.
no, that was for pets. Whereas Alyssa Milano, doesn't she do it for like starving children?
Yeah, I think she might.
Right. I think she's still pretty good looking.
She's super hot, but she's on this sex strike thing for the Me Too movement.
Whatever. Still got a.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
Still got a pretty mouth, Brian.
Wow, lips and assholes.
According to one of our presidents, oral sex isn't sex. I'm sorry. Okay, I got yelled at break for making too many noises with things.
You're twitchy.
Brian's like, you're just making so
Why?
many noises. I'm sorry. Are you not having fun?
I'm-
Is this not a good topic? I'm like, I'm waiting for the crime part.
Well, we're here. He has a
all
cult
right.
where he
I'm a little twitchy.
puts people in a barrel and beats on them. Several band members were arrested for shoplifting food from a local store. There's your crime.
Why didn't they just leave and not come back?
They were mentally broken down. Like, it's the cults, dude. Zappa bails him out of jail, by the way.
I'm gonna start doing this with my kids.
Band members were restricted from leaving the house. They participated in 14 hours a day of practice.
Jeez.
Yeah.
This album ever get cut? They ever get pressed, this album?
That's why it's the greatest double track 28 whatever sounding album in the world. We'll get there.
I want to hear it. I'm going to have to hear it. I'm going to listen to it on the way home.
We're almost there. Yeah.
All right.
So John French, again, the drummer, recalls not getting the drum parts as quickly as Don wanted, so Don has, quote, a talk. Now, Don's kind of famous for having talks with people. Hey, John, that's not really sounding right. Come here a minute. Let me talk to you about this in private over here.
Nice calm talk.
So French is punched by all the band members. They're thrown into walls. He's kicked. He's punched in the face by Don himself, and assaulted with the sharpened broomstick.
Code red.
Now, I wrote the last line, and then it just hit me. Wait, who sharpened the broomstick? And so, like, I just imagine some, like, keyboard player or something, or some saxophonist just sitting in the corner, like, at night in his room, just sharpening the broomstick. Everyone's
Making
like,
a shiv, just rubbing it on the concrete like you would with a popsicle stick when you were 5. Say, I'm going to make this, I'm stabby. I'm getting stabby here.
Now, French also says that he was complicit in assaulting other band members during their talks with Don.
So they just beat up on whomever.
It's Full Metal Jacket, man.
This guy.
Yeah,
This guy had him like locked in mentally.
Now, after the album was finished, Don fired the drummer, John French, by throwing him down a flight of stairs and telling him to take a walk, man.
Was this a big guy? I mean, what is this, like a Macho Man looking guy?
No, it's like a Zappa size guy, you know,
Just a little skinny dude.
5'8", 5'10", little skinny dude.
And they couldn't beat him up, huh?
Nothing crazy. Well, they didn't. Again, mentally, they were put in a barrel.
They were
and
broken.
So, according to Don, the 28 songs were all written in 8.5-hour session at the piano. An instrument he had no skill at playing. He wrote them all, banging them out and whistling. Now, the band says the album was written over a year. So,
and plus he didn't go to school.
well, he had nothing else to do, right?
Yeah.
He had a cult to run. The band was so well rehearsed.
How well rehearsed were they, Brian?
The first 21 songs in the single 4 hour, they recorded the first 21 songs. Damn, let's try it again.
We're not well rehearsed, apparently.
Well, this is off the cuff. I don't rehearse any of it. The band was so well rehearsed.
How well rehearsed were they, Brian?
They recorded the first 21 songs in a single 4-hour session.
Just let the tape run?
Let it run, but they nailed it. Because, dude, you're practicing 14 hours a day for 8 months, a year, with a guy beating on you if you don't do it right. Like, having talks where the whole band kicks the shit out of you. You're going to be good.
You're pretty good.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you get all 28 tracks done?
Well,
They probably had to take some time out to get beaten.
This is the best part, is that Don spent a couple days on the vocals. It's like, I'm just not getting it. I'm not getting it.
You know, I heard Ted Nugent was notorious for being like one and done and perfect every time
Nice.
in the studio. Like, would come in, half hour, get his entire, like, 1 song, 2 songs done, nailed it. Didn't have to come back and do them over again.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. Wango tango.
I love the way I sound on this track.
No, I sound good. It's great.
You know he's driving, like, to the store right now to go get some groceries and ammunition or something, and he's listening to Cat Scratch Fever on repeat. I see, you know he is.
I get the download credit for this. Woo! He just hits the button. Other rumors about this album, neither Don nor the band took any drugs. That was the first rumor. I'm like, okay. Don claimed to teach the guitarist and the bassist how to play from scratch.
Doesn't sound like he knows how to play any instruments.
Don said he didn't sleep for a year. And when they asked him, Don, how'd you do that? He said,
mental thinking.
I only eat fruit.
Fruit. This guy is a fruit.
The Trout band replica, it's a big hit, man. Trout Mask replica, it's a big hit. Like, it has a huge influence on new wave and punk music. People are like, this is genius.
Well, at a cost.
Ranked 16th greatest album of all time by Rolling Stone.
What did the Vatican have to say about it?
I couldn't find it. I looked. The Trout Mask replica is not on the Vatican's recommended albums of all time.
I want to see that. I want to need that list.
Critic Robert Christgau gave it a B+, saying, I find it impossible to give this record an A because it's just too weird, but I'd like to.
All right, so it's high praise.
I mean, dude, again, it's people like it. So, dude, 28 tracks.
So what year is
crushed
this?
it.
What year? 69?
69. Yeah, 69.
Okay.
1970, they have another album come out called Lick My Decals Off, Baby. Spends 20 weeks on the charts, peaks in the UK charts at number 20. Music critic Robert Christgau again gives this an album an A-.
Oh,
It's like we're getting better.
not nearly as weird.
Well, 1972, Don releases 2 more albums, The Spotlight Kid and Clear Spot. Now, before recording the albums, Don rents a house near Ben Lemon, California, and starts having talks with people again. Harkland remembers being thrown into a dumpster this time.
This guy's a nut.
And he said, I took it as a metaphor, and I assumed I was no longer in the band.
He got out easy, though.
He threw him away. Now, if we remember a classic movie, Better Off Dead, when Lane Meyer gets thrown in the garbage truck.
I don't think I've seen that movie.
Look at that. People throwing out a perfectly good white boy.
I don't think I've seen that movie.
Waves. That's John Cusack movie.
Uh-huh.
If you like skiing and John Cusack, Better Off Dead. You got a song here. Her Eyes Are a Blue Million Miles off of this Clear Spot album. Do you think you've ever heard it?
No.
It was in the movie The Big Lebowski.
I've only seen that movie one time.
Oh my God!
I
Who
know.
are you?
No, I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, I rented it VHS back in the day.
Wow, okay.
And I was
You
like,
are entering a world of pain,
what's that
Donnie.
mean?
You're entering a world of pain.
I know a lot of the quotes. Everybody says them.
I did so much Lebowski work for it because I couldn't find it, but I finally did. It's when Lebowski's checking his answering machine, and he stole a rug, and so he's dancing on the rug, and that's the scene, and they're playing this song, "Her Eyes Are a Blue Million Miles."
No,
And
I've
so
never.
he's out singing it.
All
It
right.
really brought the room together.
I'm gonna listen to some of this guy's music on the way home.
1974, Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band record their 8th album, Unconditionally Guaranteed. Immediately after recording, the Magic Band disbands.
Like what? Oh, they disband.
Yeah, they're like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, well, yeah. I bet they had a lot of people do that.
Disgruntled and past Magic Band members joined together to form Mallard. They released 2 albums and disband again.
Yeah, I never heard that.
Still 1974. Don has concert dates sold, right? And tours and stuff. And another album to record. But it's called Blue Jeans and Moonbeams. He's got no band.
Well, no, yeah, and probably a pretty bad rep in the industry.
They quit.
Like, this guy's gonna throw you in a dumpster and put you in a barrel and yell at you, and then take credit for everything you know, even though he didn't know how to play the piano.
You can't even stop him with a crossbow. And you should see how he plays the piano. He's just banging on it. He didn't even open it to show the keys. I don't think he knows the keys are there.
Yep. See, he's just so focused, Brian. He's so focused.
That's brilliant. Don gets some randoms with no experience, had never heard the songs, and they basically just improvise. Yep, there's that. Okay.
Good enough.
That's what we got. They were described as the bar band version of Captain Beefheart, and they called him Captain Beefheart and the Tragic Band.
They probably did just as good.
Well, they didn't do it. I mean, that's what the fans called them. They're like,
No, they didn't go. They did just as good.
no.
They didn't get yelled at enough. Not enough talks.
Art Tripp, original drummer for Beefheart and the Magic Band, he listened to the albums that they sort of winged. Yeah.
Mhm.
He said, "We were horrified as we listened. It was as though each song was worse than the one that preceded it."
That's not good. That's not gonna get you an A-.
Don later disavowed both albums, asking not to be considered part of his musical output.
Who'd he tell this to?
Well, he urged fans who bought the albums that take them back for a refund.
You take the little cellophane off the cassette, and you can't get.
Can't take it back, Don.
No. It's the same with video games and albums and everything.
1975, Don sits in on some Zappa albums, right? He's in on like Bongo Fury and Bat Chain Puller. They had this guy, John Thomas, on keyboards, and once recording was done, he quits, and then he joins the Mallards. So
The Mallards is just a bunch of Beefheart rejects.
Everybody who hates Don Van Vliet's like, what a dick.
I just had to point at the computer screen because there's something coming up.
Oh,
Brian's got to change
dude.
it. It's going to happen. Oh, you got it muted. All right.
You think so? People like Don's contributions, though, so Beefheart's back, though, because they're like, oh, he's with Zappa, man. This is cool. December 27, 1975. Don gets into it with the crowd at Winterland in San Francisco, California.
What do you mean gets into it?
Well, show's going on, right? And, you know, Don gives the guy the finger. He's like, got right in his face, right? He's like, fuck you, because the guy gave Don the finger. Right?
So they're just flipping each
They're
other
just
off
flipping each
from
other
a
off.
distance.
Right, from the stage. Well, Don went up to the guy, actually, and he's like, fuck you, no, fuck you, gives him the finger and starts screaming and swearing at him and stuff. And then the crowd starts booing and throwing stuff at Don, like whipping bottles at him and shit like that. So Don goes off in a rage.
Oh,
It's
well,
like,
he's mad. You can't.
fuck everybody, you're an asshole, you're an asshole.
You can't respond to that stuff if you're on stage.
Don leaves the stage to the boos of the crowd, and the Magic Band stays on stage and keeps playing a song. They play Alice in Blunderland. Kind of funny.
Well, they
Right.
got to get paid.
They get through that. Don comes back out on stage, gives the finger again, gets booed off again.
No, he's making no friends at this point.
Magic Band finishes the show. Backstage, it's completely pitch black. Like, there are no lights because Don had broken out every single light bulb, and there's glass shards everywhere.
This guy's a dick.
Then when the guys are like, what the hell was that all about, Don? Don said, I wanted him to do that, man. That was exactly what I wanted him to do, man. Now you can hear this show thanks to a local taper who was in the crowd, a guy who is a huge Captain Beefheart fan.
A local taper?
Simpsons creator Matt Groening.
Oh, really?
He has a huge collection of Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band tapes from back in the day.
Do they make any references on their show to them?
I don't know. The picture was of Matt Groening holding a Bender doll for that particular article when I researched it. So I think it might be some Futurama stuff as far as him and the Beefheart.
I'm the Futurama guy in the crowd here. There are no Beefheart references there that I know
I have
of.
Futurama's tap game on my iPad right here, buddy.
I just
I'm
watched
in
the
there.
shows.
I don't know, but I mean, you think about it, all the aliens, there might have been a Beefheart alien or something, or sometime. I mean, that's I don't know. I don't know Futurama. I'll take
There's
that.
a
I'm the
flying
Simpsons
spaghetti
guy.
monster.
That's fine. 1980, Doc at the Radio Station. That's an album. This record got Don the title of the Father of New Wave. This was the post-punk time, and like when Johnny Rotten and all those guys were all sort of.
So this is in the what year? Like mid-70s?
1980.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yep. So
Okay.
new wave, like video killed the radio star. Don sort of credited with being the godfather or the father of new wave. Velvet Underground, Lou Reed, New York Dolls, stuff like that.
Really?
Don's the influence, baby.
All right.
Don was called one of the most important American composers of the last 50 years, a primitive genius.
Huh. You'd think I've heard of him.
That's what I did when I was reading this. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, I don't.
Not everybody can be the best.
I mean, I have heard of Captain Beefheart. I have. I'd heard that name.
I'm not sure if I
He's
have
got
or not.
crazy album art, which we'll get to. 1982, Ice Cream for Crow, his 12th album. They make a lot of albums, him and Zappa. I mean,
Yeah.
Zappa,
Well, I've heard of Zappa.
but I mean, they produce. They're not like making hooks and stuff. They're just making content. The content.
Okay.
There you go.
Just filling up blank
Well,
space.
they made a music video. This Ice Cream for Crow album. They made a music video for one of the songs, and they took it to MTV, and
MTV hated it.
because
It was boring.
it was too weird.
Too negative.
The Museum of Modern Art took it in as an artwork, and it's still on display as one of the most popular artworks from an American artist.
A video?
Yes.
They just got an old tube television playing at the museum
Yep.
on loop.
On his loop of his video. Yep. Don was on David Letterman, and he said, "I don't want my MTV if they don't want my video," because the slogan back then was, "I want my MTV."
Yeah.
So
I want
he
my-
called him out on David
I
Letterman show.
want my-
1985.
What happened there? Zima's getting to me.
Zima came back up, huh? Harsh. You gotta let the Jolly Rancher melt.
Ugh.
1985, Don has an art exhibition at the Mary Boone Gallery in New York.
Mhm.
And at first people thought, here's another rock musician trying to paint and trying to be creative and stuff. Some of Don's art sold for upwards of $25,000.
But he was kind of an artist back in the day.
I suppose so.
I mean, as a 5-year-old.
He establishes from there a relationship with the Galerie Michael Werner in Cologne, Germany. And serious artists and collectors see his work, and Don is compared to Francis Bacon, Jackson Pollock, and even Vincent van Gogh.
I've heard of one of those guys.
Jackson Pollock?
Van Went.
I see. 1987, Don appears in a movie!
What movie, Brian?
Grizzly 2, The Predator.
I've never seen either of the
A
Grizzlies, I guess.
15-foot tall bear in the woods, considered the Jaws ripoff type of thing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
do-dun, 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 roar! You know, you're like, oh, okay, there's a bear.
Where do you go to escape a bear?
Climb a tree.
You go in the water.
Okay. I
Oh,
thought
no, they can
bears could
swim,
swim. Yeah.
No, you don't climb a tree. They got you pinned at
They
that
can-
point.
Only so I can climb, bear. You're gonna need to move so I can keep climbing.
My cousin he was up in deer hunt. He wasn't running from a bear.
Oh,
He was
God.
deer hunting. He's up in his tree stand, where you're up in a tree with your bow and arrow
Sure.
shooting down on the animals. Well, a bear came up the tree.
Oh,
and,
God.
And he was freaking out. He couldn't get down. He's trying to shoo the bear away and swat it with an arrow and stuff. Well, they don't care about that. And so he called his girlfriend on the phone and said, "Drive the truck out here. I'm gonna jump in the truck so we can get," because the bear was getting a little aggressive, and it chewed on his foot. He had to go to the hospital and stuff.
I think a bear can run like 50, 60 miles an hour, right?
I don't know about 60 miles an hour.
I put a 10-mile barrier in there. What do you?
I don't think he's going 50. I don't think a bear is going 30.
Ooh, competition. All right, guys, if you know, drop us a line on some social media. But basically, after the Bear movie, Don retires from music, goes back to painting and sculpting. He said he got too good at the horn.
Sounds like it. Oh, get too good at this musical instrument. It's about time for me to leave the genre altogether.
I love this guy, man. He's like, being born was rough. That day was cold, and the doctor, he's like, I'm too good at the piano. I've mastered that. I'm good at the horn. He's never played the horn. Never done any of these things.
I wonder if he knows if he's fucking with people on purpose or if he's just a lunatic.
Honestly, I think he knows. I do. Early 90s, Don's retired from music. He settled in Trinidad, California with his wife Janet, and he starts using a wheelchair because he's got progressing multiple sclerosis.
Okay.
Now, some of the Magic Band members were like, dude, you could tell that was happening back in the 70s. So, they're not surprised.
Maybe that's why he's banging on the piano. Just a twitch.
That's where those eclectic rhythms come from. Okay, so 1993, one of Don's last public appearances was in a short documentary, Some Yo-Yo Stuff, by Anton Corbijn. There's a J in there. There's a J. Trust me.
He's German.
Don reads poetry and philosophizes about life.
Is it Bjorkman?
No, it's Corbijn.
It's Bjorkman.
Sure. Don died in a hospital in Arcata, California on Friday, December 17th, 2010, just 1 month shy of his 70th birthday, due to complications of multiple sclerosis.
Many sclerosises.
December 19th, 2010, the Trout Mask Repulus sells more than the Beatles and the Stones and Pink Floyd. Because that's like when he died, and you know how like the Michael Jackson effect.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, Michael Jackson's 10th anniversary of his death is coming up.
Right.
So people are going to be fawning over. Just a few months ago, we all hated him again. Now we're all love him again.
Up and down. But here's the funny thing about outselling the Stones and the Beatles and Floyd, all that. The album wasn't even in stock.
Where'd they get it? How'd it sell?
Well, like at Amazon, you're like, sold out. And then you're like, notify me, pre-sale or whatever, post-sale.
What year? 2010?
2010.
Huh. We had Amazon back then?
Yeah.
All right.
Quote from Don. Quote, when I see a dolphin, I know it's just as smart as me.
Maybe it is, Don.
Captain Beefheart, Don Van Vliet, everybody.
He didn't really do a lot of crime.
He ran a small cult, which sort of caught my eye. And then they got busted for shoplifting, which technically qualifies for our show. And he was just so weird. As soon as he was like, I remember my birth, I'm like, yeah, that's the guy. We're doing that because Ben's going to love all this weird shit.
So I like going after we do these podcasts. I learn a little something. I'm intrigued. And sometimes I'll say, I'm going to listen to their stuff. Like when we did the Lilo.
Yes.
I didn't listen to any of her stuff. I didn't care. I mean, I know her as a celebrity more than a musician. I don't really care about her musician. But like DMX, I heard we all grew up listening to DMX.
Oh, yeah.
But I went back and listened to old DMX, and even my brother was a big DMX fan. So
really?
Him and he liked DMX.
Wow.
I'm like, DMX and Limp Bizkit sang that song together. No, they didn't. So we popped it up, and you're like, oh, shit, I guess you did. And so, I listen. I don't know any of this stuff, I don't think.
Nope. And Zappa had me as soon as that, because I had a friend a guy I used to work with who was really big into Zappa. His kid.
Oh,
but
yeah.
was into Zappa.
You
huge.
Can say
that's
it
where
doesn't nail it. It's not one person.
Whatever.
You can say that.
All right, yeah, that's true.
There's only one name we can't say anymore. The name that shall not be mentioned. Oh, she got so mad.
We should say it right now.
No.
I'm going to say it.
We are now going to refer to this person as the name that cannot be mentioned, because we did mention, okay, we're now just talking about nothing now. So episodes ago, we may have told a story about a friend of ours, of one of our good friends we grew up with, and she's
You're helping them narrow it down.
Well, whatever. Go back and listen. You'll find, and she's a teacher.
Oh God, it's narrower.
I know, and actually not that much narrow. We got a lot of teacher friends.
That's true.
Yeah, and so she heard about it because her husband's a big fan of the show. He listens to everyone, and she was at my house the other night, and she's like, "Do not say my." I'm like, we bleep everything out. We don't. You wouldn't believe what adolescent young people will find and bother you with as a teacher. And I'm like, don't worry about it. Nobody listens to this show.
Say my
so
name.
Now
say my name.
She's the name that shall not be mentioned.
Lots of people have been listening to the show, and I'd like to thank them. Right now, I've got a couple of YouTube comments I'm going to read you because we've got some feedback. Sorry.
Do you just turn the volume up for that?
That was louder than I intended, to be honest. I forget the volume's up, and that's a big one. We got some YouTube comments right here. We got a YouTube comment on our Mindy McCready episode. Got a guy, Hamiltucky Paranormal says, I saw Mindy McCready when she first started out opening for George Strait, and she was very beautiful in person.
She was. We may have been in the same room at that time.
Possibly.
Yeah.
We got a guy on our Moon the Loon, I'm Keith Moon, episode number 11. Gertrude Perkins says, greatest rock and roller of all time.
Yeah, my kids and I drove by that old place where the Holiday Inn was at that he put the car in the pool.
Oh, yeah?
I told him the story.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then we got some Lindsay Lohan comments. That one sort of got us on there. Lindsay Lohan comments here. What do we got? We got 2. A Tube for View says, stinkiest diseased woman who ever lived, leaves a line of horrible ooze from between her legs everywhere she walks. Yuck, dump her into a lava pit. And
that's mean.
This other guy, Farmer, says, leave Lindsay alone or I'll kill you.
I'm on Farmer's side.
You're on Farmer's side?
Yeah, I'm on Farmer's side big time.
All right.
I like Lindsay Lohan.
This is what the people think.
No,
There's one up, one down, and we're doing good there. So.
I can have an opinion.
You can. Everybody can have an opinion. If you'd like to share your opinion with us, let us hear it at crimeandmusic.com. And that's a great way to get a hold of us in any social medias.
I almost got through one episode without you.
I tried. I didn't mean to.
All right.
You got anything else?
I don't know. No.
Oh,
really.
wait. We do. We got more feedback. I have one here for you. We got a speak pipe.
Do we? No, we don't.
We got many a speak pipe.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Here's a speak pipe. Ben.
Greetings from Rush Day 2019. I'm here with your friend, Benjamin T. Rupel, complete with cheesy potatoes and tube meats. I'll let Ben describe exactly what Rush Day is, but in its traditional form, we listen to every single Rush album from noon to midnight until they started to record a few new ones, but we do the best we can. Love the show. Keep up the good work. I'd love to hear some stories from Ben about his favorite Rush Day experiences of the past. Talk to you guys later.
It's a multiple speak pipe in one speak pipe.
Oh, okay, that was Ryan. Oh, this is a continuing.
This is you. People can hear you in the background. What the?
We may have.
I just wanted to say.
Oh, louder.
Luke, I am your father.
The name that shall not be mentioned is on speak pipe.
She who shall not be named left a speak pipe.
Amy.
Ben's forcing speak pipe.
This is your fellow bandmate. Hope all is well.
Is it still going?
Yeah, you and Ben keep up the good work. Happy Rush Day, man.
That was Greg. That's bullcrap. Greg, you should have said something about the sympathy for the devil. You and Ryan should have said something about that. And I want to say, Amy, you got in mind.
Why are you picking fights with people on speak pipe with
drunk.
me?
We were drunk, yeah.
So to recap, we used to have an annual festival. Apparently, I'm not invited to anymore. Called Rush Day, as Ryan said. We would all gather up north, or even in people's driveways, is how it started. Just to play in Rush and basically a reason to drink all day.
Yeah, no, it was.
And Rush is
we
great.
don't do Rush Day anymore. That was just a weekend that the neighbors came over.
That was Ryan's Rush Day recap. What more do you want?
I didn't even have Rush playing. I had a little tiny speaker in the house with Rush playing all day, like a tiny lit votive candle.
I see.
We didn't listen to Rush, the kids, and we were around a campfire for a minute, drinking some beers and doing whatever. And as for Ryan, if you want to know my favorite Rush story, I am not going to be telling that on the air.
The time you had to hide in the garage attic?
That wasn't the favorite part of it.
Time the fight broke out?
There's no fighting.
The time, no, you're right.
I'm not telling it on the air.
I almost got him, Ryan. I was trying. So, well, if you like to hear crazy stories like that, particularly centered around musicians and their crimes in music or outside of the music world, let us know. Hit us up with a speak pipe. Go to crimeandmusic.com. Check out the new website. It is officially up. It's got a cool bio page. Our blog page has all sorts of connectivity if you want to listen to the episodes.
Sweet photos of us.
Bunch of cool photos. That's
super sweet.
Check out our history coming up. A little bit more about our backgrounds. Don't steal my identity. Don't steal his.
You can have mine. I'll trade you identities, actually. I don't want somebody to steal. Let's trade. Trade identity.
Trade.
Yeah.
Swap. It's an identity swap.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
We'll be taking applications for the identity swap. Hit us up on social medias, and if you want to do anything else, really, the website has it all now. Check it out, crimeandmusic.com. Like the song says, never trust a big butt and a smile.
All right. Can I swap my identity with like a hot 25-year-old lesbian?
I think so.